Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Esther's Universe. I'm Esther. I'm going to get stuck right into it today. We're doing another question one of my friends has asked, and hopefully by my answering her question, it helps you as well. So I'll keep it anonymous. So her question has a couple of different parts. So I'll start with the first part. It says, when you start to be on the right path, how do you identify you're in the right or wrong place at any given time in life? So that's a pretty big question. Her other one as well is, how do I respond to life's calling? So I would say that with the first one, identifying whether you're in the right or wrong place at any given moment when it comes to your life's path and your purpose and everything, I'm going to say that that comes down to how you feel in everyday situations. So I think that a lot of what will bring us to our life's calling or into alignment on the right path is little tiny incremental everyday things. Sometimes there are like amazing coincidences that happen that you're like, wow, lucky I was in the right place at the right time. And there's that perfect mix of like luck and preparation and all of that. But a lot of it is actually just being a little bit more conscious about how we live in everyday life and opening up our awareness to our unconscious actions and to the possibility that, you know, if we just watch what we're doing, we'll kind of realize that maybe we're not living in the best, you know, alignment with our values and everything. So I've always been a pretty like purposeful person. I've always been pretty goal driven. And I found myself completely out of alignment with my business. So I was a wedding photographer for like 10 years or something. And I started my own business and I was running that for about 5 years, and I was freelancing the entire 10 years. And I learned a lot. I'm so glad I did it. I had amazing experiences, and I know that I was able to transfer my energy into other people and make them feel really good. Upon reflection, I should have been transferring life force energy, not my own, because I have so much and I was just giving it all away and not saving any for myself. So we live and we learn. But anyway, I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad I had the business. I'm glad I did all that. And it was exactly what I needed to do at the time. But it definitely got to a point where I was like past my use by date. Like I was definitely supposed to have left earlier. The universe was giving me signs to leave. And I didn't listen because I didn't identify them as signs to leave. I thought that life was just really hard and everything kept going wrong all at once, and that I was supposed to keep pushing through and just keep working hard, because everyone's like, if you want to be a good business owner and hustle, and you have to work really hard. And I didn't really have the discernment at the time to realize that, like, when someone says that to have a successful business, you have to work hard, like, they're not talking to literally everyone. They're talking to people who need to be told to work hard, which is fine. But I work hard as a baseline, and I'm not saying that as a flex. Like, I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying so hard to do less for my own health. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that, you know, there's anything wrong with people who need a bit more of a push to work hard. If anything, I'm trying to learn to be a little bit more like those people. But working hard for me is a baseline. So I ended up working too hard, way too hard, and never stopping. And obviously, like, the cost of living was going up. COVID happened. There was like floods. There was all kinds of things that went wrong. And I was just like, what is going on? And then I heard myself start to say out loud, like, this isn't living. Like, this is not living. This cannot be it. There is absolutely no way that I'm supposed to just wake up every morning with this much anxiety about surviving and then go work and spend all day at work. Like, I left in the dark, and then I would work all day, and then I would come home in the dark and see like 2 seconds of my kid and my dog, and then they would have to go to bed. And then I was working on my business all night and then not sleeping. And this was, I think this example that I'm talking about right now was from when I decided I was going to work, going to start shutting down my business. So I went and got a full-time job so I could just have money come in while I was doing all of that. And I also just really needed an income at the time. So yeah, lots of crazy things happened that pushed me into that general direction, which is exactly what I needed. Lots of like tragedy and death and everything like all at once. And then I ended up being like, all right, I'm going to shut the business down and get a job and work on getting out of this situation. But like, even though I was doing my best to work on getting out of it, couldn't really properly see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was just like, I can't live like this anymore. That's all I knew. And sorry, I was like, I'm going to just do whatever I can to get out of this. And I kept daydreaming about being outside and chasing butterflies and just like laying under trees and reading and just slowing down so much so I could recalibrate. And it hadn't occurred to me in the longest time to like not have a goal, a specific goal, and just the only goal was just getting healthy again and slowing down and, you know, letting my nervous system reset. And that was wild. That was like a big thing to kind of get used to, just that mentality, because people were so used to me having a goal, and I was so used to the version of myself that other people saw. I was so used to that part of me. And for someone being like, what are you, shutting down your business? Oh my God, what are you going to do? Like, oh, it must be something massive. And I was like, actually, I don't know. I'm just going to lay outside a lot and read and journal and maybe just cry and figure it all out. But I was like, I know that I need some downtime to be able to even find out what I care about nowadays. Like, what do I care about? What do I want to do? Who am I? I've been moving so fast for so long that I completely lost sight of everything, and everything was a blur. And now when I look back, I'm like, the universe was trying to get me to correct course, and it pulled the fucking rug out from underneath me because I was not paying any attention. I was just going and going, and I know a lot of people are. So yeah, if you can feel the universe trying to get you to change course and you're like, yeah, like I'm getting these feelings like I don't want to be doing this thing anymore, or I'm getting this feeling like I really want to follow this thing, and you start to talk about it because you're like, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. Like, I just want you to give yourself that permission to think, what if I actually did do that? You don't have to like send yourself into a tizzy that's going to make you think of all the reasons why you can't do the thing you really want to do right now, or you can't leave the thing you really hate being in right now. Like, don't worry about that for right now. Just think like, what if there was some crazy, amazing chance that it worked out that I could totally do that or leave this position that I'm in or whatever? Because like there is a chance. There actually is. And when you get those feelings inside of like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore and I want to be there or whatever, it's so important to do literally any step that you can, whether it's like just Googling it. Because you would not believe how many people have a dream or something they really want to do or just something they would prefer to do and shut that dream down before they even look it up. It just sits inside their head. Literally, that's it. They don't even Google it. They don't even like, there are some people obviously that start looking the thing up and they put it on vision boards and everything. And that's more of an active like manifestation to bring the thing into your life. So that's awesome. But yes, anyway, so finding like, you know, if you're like, oh, I'm consciously aware of the fact that I'm on a path that's guided by the universe, and you go, okay, I can feel that I'm in the right place right now. It feels really good or whatever. Or you can feel that you're not in alignment and it feels pretty unsettling and uncomfortable and there's a bit of anxiety and you just want to make a change. How do you know what's right? How do you know what's wrong? Your body is going to tell you. You're going to hear. Maybe it's hard to hear. So your higher self and your guides and everything, they will put downloads into your head. And it's half the time, like it's always in your own voice. And when you start picking up on it, it's like, oh, this has literally been happening my entire life. And you just didn't really quite recognize what it was. But you know how sometimes like you talk to yourself in your head in a more of a wise tone or a stern tone or a loving tone, or it's just like this other angle. And it doesn't kind of join the conversation in your head of like all of the worries and the cycle of the chatter or whatever. It doesn't join in any of that. It kind of just comes in from a totally different angle. And it's like, you know, maybe you should do X, Y, Z, or I don't know. Oh, I can't think of an example right now. Damn it. But anyway, hopefully you get get the gist. But you'll get downloads come through about whether you're on the right path or not. And you'll get like, you'll start to feel uncomfortable where you are if you're not shifting. You'll start to feel like resistance. You'll start to see blocks coming up. And if you're like, oh, there's this thing I really need to do and I really want to do or whatever, but this keeps happening and this keeps happening and why can't I make it happen? And it's usually because the universe is just like, babe, chill. There's like something else for you right around the corner. Stop fighting us on this one. But because we're like, oh no, it's my goal. I've got to achieve my goal. Otherwise I'm a failure. It's like, no, you're not. Fucking hell. Fucking chill the fuck out for a second. Everything's going to work out as it should. So yeah, I think to tell if you're, stepping in the wrong direction, when you're pretty close to alignment, like it's pretty easy to see when you're going in the wrong direction to the point where it almost doesn't happen very often. And if you do, it's more like your guides and your higher self are just talking to you like, nah, come on, don't do that. And you're like, yeah, right. You don't even drift off course really. So yeah, I don't think that you have anything to worry about. I think if you're at the point where you're asking that question and you're like, how will I know if I'm in the right or wrong place at the right time, at whatever given time? If you're wondering that, I feel like you'd be able to feel it too. But that's what I want you to do. I want you to look for the feeling in everyday life. So I practiced being able to listen to my body in this kind of way on everything, like the most mundane shit. I also set the intention first and I was journaling about it and I was manifesting it. But I was like, I want to become a fucking professional at listening to my instincts and my intuition and my body. Like, I want to know that shit. Like, it's a language that I've learned. I want to know, And throughout just this year, I literally set that intention in like January this year. It's 2023 right now, if anyone in the future is listening to this. And what was I talking about? Setting the intention for reading my body. And so I would try that with just everyday mundane things. Like, do I feel like having spaghetti for dinner? And then I'd be like, just sit with it for a minute. And I'm like, no, that makes me. And then I would literally feel in my stomach the kind of feeling that I would feel after I'd eaten it. And I was like, what about Thai food? And then it was more of like yeah. And that's like the most basic way to put it because that's pretty much everyone can do that, right? So that same feeling, and when you're thinking about what food you want to eat, set that intention to really notice the signals that your body gives you when you consider what to eat or what to drink or whatever, because it's a very similar set of actions that happen when you are like, oh, should I go on this date with this person? And if you're having like, I feel like if you have to ask yourself that, it's probably a no. Like maybe you're a bit resistant and just don't, unless you think that you really should go, but you're just being scared. But if you're like, I don't want to go because of other reasons other than being nervous, then listen to your body. That's your body saying, nah. Or if you've got someone that's maybe not the best kind of friend to have in your life and they're like, hey, let's do this thing. And you've started to realize that you guys aren't in alignment and you're like, oh, I don't really want to spend time with that person because I'm trying to raise my vibration and they are not at all moving in the same direction and all of that. So listen to your body. Like your body will tell you, like think of someone right now, literally think of someone right now that wants to hang out with you at some point that you're like, oh, I don't really feel good around that person, but you're just used to being around them. Or maybe you guys share a friend group or there's some work obligation that you have to them or something like that. And they want to spend time with you and you're feeling like that, oh, I really don't want to go be around that person. That's the same feeling, same kind of thing. Like you've been listening to your body this entire time. It's time to start actually like listening to it as if it's some kind of authority, because it really is. Like your body knows so much more than your conscious mind. It's not even funny. So listen to it. It will never, like your body will never lead you astray. The only time it will is when it's just living on inbuilt anxiety and your nervous system is completely fucking shot. But that's what we want to work out of that and away from that. And if you're not in that place, amazing. If you are in that place, it's fine. I will talk on more of like how to get out of that. But when you're getting out of that and you're getting into alignment, you can really tell the difference. It's massively different when you're just having anxiety versus when your body's communicating to you from a place of truth. it's quite obvious after a while. So you'll get there. And what else was she saying? She said, how do I respond to life's calling? This is my favorite. I respond to life's calling all the time. Again, a body thing. So let me see. Do I have an example? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I've always felt like I've got something, important to do in life. I've always had a really big purpose, and I can't explain it, but even from a young age, like I was this like young teenager getting chased by the cops all the time. I was in like lockup all the time. I was like certain I was going to end up in like juvenile jail or something. And I was always like just running around being an absolute terror on the neighborhood, but also getting completely like let down by society. And I still knew. I was like, this isn't me forever. I know it. I'm just going through a phase. I was literally a small, teeny little teenager. And I was aware of the fact that I was going through a phase and that I was going to do something really big when I was older. Like, what the fuck, hey? Anyway, so I was like, just let myself have this phase. But funnily enough, when I got older, I kind of forgot that a little bit. Like I didn't. I always had this feeling of like push towards like get to a position where you can use all of your strengths. I knew I had to do that. Didn't know what my strengths were. Didn't know like what position I needed to get to. I just knew I needed to stop struggling and start living in a place of like abundance and everything. But at the time, I just kind of thought that meant like, I just need money to survive so that then I can like, I was like, I know I'll be able to do good with the world. I want to change it so badly. I want to help everyone. I want to fix this problem and this problem and this problem. And it would be so fun for me. It wouldn't even be stressful. Like it'd be amazing. I just need money so that I can use my time instead of wasting my time having jobs and stuff. So I always had that feeling. And didn't really know what I was running towards. And then my friend Zoe was seeing this intuitive healer, Serena. Her business is called Serene Healing. And Zoe was just having the biggest transformation. And I was like, oh my God, she sounds amazing. And she was telling me all about her. And I was like, yeah, I've got to go see her. And I'm so glad I did. It was, oh my God, actually life-changing. So Serena did, she was just sort of like clearing my energy and helping my body step into alignment so that I could then do the, more of the inner child work and everything that I was talking about in the last episode. And like, I needed to get into a safer place in my body because my nervous system was previously so shot. And it was taking me a long time to recover from burnout and everything. Anyway, so she helped so much. I had maybe 3 sessions with her before this crazy shit happened, but no, it was the 3rd session. So she was channeling for me and told me some crazy news that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense for like just knowing who I am as a person and everything that I've felt my entire life. I was like, oh yeah, it feels like you're just telling me a memory that I have. And then also like human Esther, like not spiritual Esther, but like not the soul version of me, but the human version of me was just like, what? What? Like, what does this mean? And I was like, I don't know. She just unlocked something in me. So I don't know if I should say it. I need to speak my truth, but it feels like something that people would struggle. I don't know. So people who know me that I told, I was like, oh my God, like, are they going to think I'm crazy? And they were all like, oh my God, of course you are. Like, this is so you. And then I just always have this fear that, I don't know. It's a fear I need to get over. I'm still learning to speak my truth in a lot of things, but I'm getting so much better at it. Holy fuck. Like compared to where I was a couple of years ago. Whoa, so much better at it. So anyway, so she said to me that, and I had this was channeled by a second person as well, my Reiki healer, Kaja. She's amazing as well. So she'd pretty much said almost the same thing that Serena had said, and I didn't tell her about this, and they don't know each other. And so Serena was like, all right, so you are a starseed and you've lived like 1,000 lives as a galactic being, and then you've been like, now you're like an ascended master guide. Master guide? Yeah, a master guide. And I've only had 3 lives on Earth, and this is my 3rd life, because up in the other dimension, they were like, okay, Earth is like really on a bad track. Things are not working out how they should. And we need to like fix it and blah, blah, blah. And apparently I was just like, send me down. I can do it. I can totally do it. Just let me go down. I'll do it. I'll sort it out. Which is, for anyone who knows me, it's like, of course I would say that. And so when she told me that, I was like, well, I just immediately, something clicked in me. Immediately, I was like, I had this feeling in my body of, oh yes, that's right. I forgot. I had this entire massive mission that I needed to do and complete. And like, let me also just tell you that I am now spiritual, but I wasn't spiritual. I was like dabbling in like star sign stuff and just for like a little bit of funsies. And I've had like crazy things happen to me throughout my life. So I've always just been like a little bit like hopeful that there's magic in the world. And I feel like there was a part of me that was like, you know, yeah, I guess hopeful. But at the same time, I was like, nah, I'm more of a scientific girly. Like I want to know the science behind everything and blah, blah, blah. So this was like a really big weird adjustment for me, because after she told me that and after she did that final clearing, she did like a soul code, like unlocking situation with me. And it was really, really powerful. And afterwards I went like rocketed into a spiritual awakening. And I had this like insane meditation. A couple of days later, I was in my room just listening to something on my phone. And then I saw this thing in the reflection of my mirror and I was like, what? And I was like, is that a light coming out of my head? And then I was like moving my head left and right. And I was like, it is. And I was like, that light is coming out of my head. And then I just had this really strong download of like, it's time to meditate. I meditated for 2 hours. 2 hours. I've never done that before in my fucking life. Like 20 minutes, half an hour was the max. And it was not guided by, you know, a playlist or anything. It was guided by my higher self, it needs like a fucking episode of its own. It was the most insane experience of my fucking life. It's the kind of thing that people talk about when they go on like plant medicine, like DMT and shit, but in its own way. Like it was just so crazy. And then afterwards, like my head was burning hot. My hands were burning hot. For the next like couple of days after that I was a completely open channel, just like downloads, like every single conversation I had with people, it was exactly what they needed to hear. And they were all like looking at me, smiling, being like, wow. And people were hugging me and being like, thank you so much. Holy shit, I just can't stop smiling right now. La la la. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So anyway, since that day, because that kind of anchored all that to reality. So when Serena had initially told me that, I was like really struggling to sort of take on what she said because of what I said before. Like half the time I felt like, yeah, this is exactly right. And the other half of the time I had all this human doubt, so much doubt. And so then after I had that meditation, it kind of solidified everything for me and made me feel a little bit more like, oh yeah, well, this is real. This is happening. And so much has happened since then. Holy shit. But basically, I have felt these like nudges coming from the universe more clear now than I used to. Like when I was all dense and covered in stress and low vibrational energy and everything, I was like, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't feel the nudges. I just couldn't hear the guidance. And I was kind of like, what's happening to me? I didn't realize all this stuff was happening for me. And now I can kind of just go, oh yes, this feels right. I'm going to take a step in this direction. Or I'll be minding my own business and suddenly this thing pops in my head of like, okay, it's time to tell your boss that you don't really want to be working full time as a marketing coordinator anymore. And you want to start working into the spiritual realm. And I was like, what? Okay. And I felt sick. I felt anxious. I felt like, oh my God, what the fuck? I've only been working here for like however long. And like, she's my friend. And what am I going to say to her? And blah, blah, blah. But I was like, okay, please like show me a sign. Is this the right thing? I don't want to step out of alignment. I want to stay in the right path. And I'm so trusting. I was like, I will trust that this will fucking work out. I will do the biggest trust fall I've done yet into the fucking universe and just hope for the best and tell my boss that I'm leaving soon and just hope that it opens a door. And I bit the bullet and I told, because, oh, that's right. I asked for a sign, and then I had like 2 more signs come through about it, like one in a meditation and one when I was just like minding my own business, doing something else. And I was like, okay, like loud and clear, sure. And so I just took the step. And then after that, like my boss was really helpful. She was like, okay, well, if you're going to leave, like at least, you know, find out more about what you're going to do. And she recommended me to this like other healer chick. And I spoke to her and she gave me some amazing advice. And then I was like, sweet, I'll do that. And so I started to say to my friends, like, sweet, yeah, I'm going to do intuitive marketing. Like that's what I want to do now. And I'm going to help intuitive healers because I want to help as many healers like get out there as possible, because we need to raise the vibration in the collective. Like I genuinely, not from a place of like wanting to make business and bring people in or anything, like I genuinely want to help healers heal, and I want to help them get out there more. I want to help as many people as I can in whatever ways that I can. And I know I can help people in this way. And it's like, that's easy for me because I can mix my like channeling and my marketing experience all in one to offer this for people, and then I won't get burnt out because I'll be doing something that means like so much to me, and I want to do that for right now. I don't think I'll do it forever, but I think right now it's a fun transition to be in while my life is changing and growing. Anyway, so yeah, I decided to do that and started to say yes to the universe about that. And then like 20 seconds later, as in like 24 hours later, the whole viral TikTok thing happened. And then I was like, you know, the next day after that, I was on TV in the UK, and things have been, you know, snowballing since. And all I did was go, okay, I really want to remain in alignment. I can feel that I'm in alignment right now. I know I could probably step even more into alignment. I can feel that I'm on this vibration that I've never been on before. I'm feeling abundant. I'm feeling brave. I'm feeling trusting of the universe. I'm like watching little tiny things inside my body to give me the yes or no, because I was practicing all year to listen to my body. And now I can feel when I'm like, okay, this is a yes, but I'm nervous. I'm feeling sick about it, but it's still a yes. I can tell the difference now. And that is fucking awesome. I love it. So yeah, I think responding to life's calling becomes easier when you learn how to hear life's calling in the first place. And like that will be different for everyone. There are similarities for people, but it'll be different for everyone. So I would say start listening to your body in everyday little scenarios. An outfit, if you're about to put an outfit on, do you feel joy? No, put it down, pick another one. You know, listen to your body. It will help you because your guides and your team and the universe are going to be communicating with you through your body and through your senses in general. And the more you work on stepping into alignment, the more all those, you know, little superpowers strengthen and everything. So we'll talk more on, I guess, like stepping into alignment in general in the first place in another episode. I'm going to wrap it up there and do a quickie because I feel pretty done now. Cool. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you want to, can you please recommend this to someone? I mean, you don't have to, or like share it on something. If you want, that'd be pretty tight. I just would really appreciate that because I want to get out in front of as many people as I can. Like, I'm not going to be shy about it. I genuinely want to go fucking everywhere. I want to go to the moon. I was about to say not literally, but then I was like, no, yeah, literally, that would be really fun too. But please recommend the potty if you love it. And if you want to suss me out in any other way, you can go on my website. It's esthersuniverse.com. And if you just want to say hi, send me an email, whatever. Ask a question. Let's chat. All right. Bye. Love you.